Hey guys, Wagon here, and welcome back to another WWW, also known as Who Would Win. And in this episode, we are going to be putting up two heavy Marvel hitters up against each other. We are going to be putting up one of the best Hulk villains, Abomination, and we're going to be putting him up against the unstoppable Juggernaut. It's going to be a fair fight. Standard equipment and stuff, so no Omega form or anything for either of them. We're not like the form we think of when we think of these characters. We think no outside help, no extra armor or anything like that. So yeah, basically that's pretty much it. And now let's get straight into this battle. Blonsky was born in Zagreb, then part of Yugoslavia, and became a KGB agent who was sent to an Air Force base in New Mexico to photograph equipment when he bombarded himself with a much higher dose of gamma radiation, and transforms for the first time when Bruce Banner walks in and is nearly killed. The Hulk is revived by General Thunderbolt Ross using radioactive rays. The Hulk eventually reverts to Banner, who lures the Abomination into a trap and drains off the Abomination's excess power, allowing the Hulk to defeat him. The entire encounter is observed by the cosmic entity, the Stranger. We encountered the Hulk in the previous storyline when he planned to control his mind, use him to wipe out most of the humanity so survivors could build a better civilization, but was dissuaded from destroying the Earth by Banner's noble actions. He takes the Abomination, judged to be evil, off-world for further study. The Abomination reappears when summoned by a coven of witches to briefly battle the cosmic hero, the Silver Surfer, and summons Thor, via an absent stranger's technology, to aid him in escaping the stranger's laboratory world. Thor frees the Abomination and the other captives, but on discovering they are evil, uses his mystic hammer, Mjolnir, to time travel several hours into the past to undo his mistake. After defeating the Abomination and placing the Abomination in prison, Thor departs. When the Hulk is defeated by the alien Zeron, the Star Slayer, who is in New York City hunting a giant creature called Klaatu, and brought aboard a space vessel, the Abomination is revealed to be first mate of the alien crew. When the captain of the vessel directs Zeron and the crew to battle Klaatu in space, the Hulk and the Abomination are thrown from the vessel and the battle until the pair are drawn into Earth's orbit and separated. It is revealed in a flashback that the Abomination entered into a coma on impacting the Earth and is buried for 2 years, revived by an off-course missile fired from Hulkbuster base, under Ross's jurisdiction. The Abomination joins forces with General Ross to defeat the Hulk, but is battered into submission by an angered Hulk. The Abomination reappears with a fellow Hulk foe, the Rhino, and the pair activates a gamma bomb at the Hulkbuster base in an attempt to destroy the Hulk. The Hulk's companion of the time, Jim Wilson, deactivates the bomb, and the Hulk tricks the villains during combat, forcing them to collide and knock each other unconscious. Comatose, Abomination is eventually found by soldiers at Ross's direction, and has a miniature bomb implanted in his skull, being told to fight and defeat the Hulk or be killed. The Abomination tricks the Hulk into an alliance and betrays Ross by attempting to ransom the captured Kennedy Space Center. The plan fails when Hulk turns on the Abomination and the pair fight, with the Abomination being caught on a rocket when it explodes. The Abomination is similar to the Hulk in terms of strength, stamina, speed, and durability, and the ability to regenerate. In contrast, with the Hulk, he retains his intellect after transforming, and cannot change back into a human form. He also possesses gills, enabling underwater breathing, and he can enter a state of suspended animation when bereft of oxygen for long periods. Originally, the Abomination is twice as strong as the Hulk, but unlike the Hulk, his strength does not increase/decrease in proportion to the level of anger, with the result that the Hulk is able to gain an advantage over Blonsky if the fight takes a sufficient amount of time for his anger to increase. After being further empowered by Ametsu Mikaboshi, sorry for that pronunciation, the Abomination is considerably larger than before, and can project hellfire and is strong enough to rip off the shell of his successor, A-Bomb, something which the Red Hulk had previously been unable to do. After his second resurrection by the Illuminati, dubbed Order of the Shield, the cloned Abomination gains further augmentation through Banner's biological grafts. Abomination gains the ability to track the Hulk anywhere in the world at will. Another feature is his ability to control his gamma radiation output in such a way that he can make it toxic to even the most resilient of individuals, including energy absorbers such as Hulk, Captain Marvel, and Sunspot. Cain Marko is the son of Kurt Marko, who becomes Charles Xavier's stepfather when he marries Sharon Xavier after the death of her husband Brian, for which Kurt is partially responsible. Kurt Marko favors Charles and abuses his own son, Cain. Cain resents Charles, who bullies him frequently. Cain Marko and his stepbrother Charles serve in the US Army and are stationed in Korea. Marko finds a temple dedicated to the entity Cyttorak. On entering, Marko finds and holds a huge ruby, and reads the inscription on the stone aloud. Whosoever touches this gem shall be granted the power of the crimson gem of Cyttorak. Henceforth, you who read these words shall become forever a human Juggernaut. The gem channels Cyttorak's power into Marko. The transformation causes a cave-in, and the character is buried and presumably killed, not being heard from again until a sudden assault on the X-Men's headquarters. Xavier recounts the Juggernaut's origin to the X-Men, and after shrugging off the mansion's defenses and brushing aside the X-Men, Marko is seen clearly in the first panel as he confronts Xavier. The X-Men regroup and attack, while Xavier summons Fantastic Four member, the Human Torch, to aid the mutants. The torch generates pulses of flame that essentially hypnotize the Juggernaut, distracting him long enough for Angel to remove the helmet when making Marko susceptible to a telepathic attack by Xavier. The Juggernaut returns, seeking revenge, and is delayed by 3 of the X-Men, while Cyclops and Marvel Girl, aided by the astral form of Mystic Doctor Strange, find and use another jewel of Cyttorak, which banishes the Juggernaut to the Crimson Cosmos, the home dimension of Cyttorak. When the Juggernaut reappears, the character has gained mystical abilities and briefly battles the Mystic Doctor Strange, before being banished to an alternate universe by the cosmic entity, Eternity. When Cain Marko finds the gem of the mystical entity, Cyttorak, he is empowered with magical energies and transformed into an immortal avatar for the entity in question. As the Juggernaut, Marko possesses superhuman strength, being capable of shattering mountains, lifting and using buildings as weapons, and extreme durability. Juggernaut is able to generate a mystical force field that grants him additional invulnerability to any physical attack when it is at its maximum. Even when the force field is temporarily absorbed by Thor's hammer, the Juggernaut's natural durability still proves to be great enough to withstand blows from Thor. The Juggernaut is described as physically unstoppable once in motion, does not tire from physical activity, and is able to survive without food, water, or oxygen. The Juggernaut heals quickly, and when he was stabbed through the eyes by a Shatterstar, the wounds were healed almost immediately. It is possible for an opponent with sufficient physical or mystical strength of their own to turn the Juggernaut's unstoppable movement against him, by redirecting his motion so that he gets stranded in a position in which he has no escape. Both the Hulk and his son Scar have done this physically, and Thor has done it mystically with Mjolnir. The only character to have stopped Juggernaut while he was in motion as an act of pure physical strength was the Hulk while he was War, a horseman of apocalypse and empowered with celestial technology. When Marko gains complete access to the gem's powers during the Trion Saga, it increases his power 1,000-fold. Trion Juggernaut is capable of altering the size of matter, growing in size, tracking, levitation, absorbing, and projecting energy, increasing his own strength and creating portals through space-time. The character is vulnerable to mental attacks, a weakness that has been exploited via the removal of his helmets, which normally protects him from such. The Juggernaut has been circumvented this weakness on occasion by wearing a metal skull cap inside his main helmet. If Juggernaut loses his helmet, he can magically recreate it from available raw materials, such as long as he possesses the full power of the gem. After Cyttorak's re-empowering of Cain Marko, his strength and durability were raised to higher levels than ever before, and his vulnerability to mental attacks was negated. Now onto the final verdict, and I've got to say that I was heavily on the loser's side at first, then I moved over to the winner's side quite late in the piece actually, and the winner is going to have to be Juggernaut. Now, Abomination can disperse lots of gamma radiation and stuff that can even affect the Hulk, but because of Juggernaut doesn't need to eat, sleep, or even breathe, that's not really going to affect him very much. And plus, with the force field, most of his attacks will just be negated. And if you're wondering what happens, the Hulk bet Juggernaut in his apocalypse form, which was War, but he had celestial empowerment and everything like that, so that's not really going come into effect, but the base form Hulk has never actually physically done it. Whereas Thor has with Mjolnir, but we're not really. It's not really something similar to. It's more mystical, not really brute strength like Abomination would do it. And since Kane Marco's thing he can literally just put up the force field and then just annihilate Abomination, because he nearly bet the Hulk in his base form in World War Hulk, but was only beaten by the Hulk because Charles Xavier came in and distracted Kane Marco at the very end of it. So he would have bet the Hulk during World War Hulk if it wasn't for Charles Xavier. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys did like this video. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share this video just to let people know how strong the Juggernaut and Abomination is. And with all that said, I'll see you all you people in the next video. Bye.